Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Arnold HoloNet News. Oh, baby. It's the only news you'll ever need because you have no other choice. And it is with great honor, great privilege that we're going to be talking about the Darth Bane kit reveal for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We got not just one, but two kit reveals. We're going to talk about Darth Bane here, and then whenever Gary finally finishes it, we're going to talk about Bo-Katan. That kit reveal is also going to be released today. Listen, guys, one of my favorite things about Star Wars Galaxy, I mean, the favorite thing, I think a lot of us can agree, is seeing new characters come to the game and seeing these stories we've seen on screen kind of come to life in a pocket, pocket collector format type of thing. I get excited every new character is what I'm trying to say, to a degree, some, okay, cool. Some really excited. This kit, when I was reading through it, digesting it, I was smiling the whole entire time. This kit reveal looks to be a ton of fun, an offensive power, and more importantly, an amazing Sith Eternal lifter, it seems like. Of course, we're going to have to wait and see when it finally gets unlocked. And how are we going to unlock this? Brief reminder, it's going to be the next conquest. Next conquest starts next week. Then 3 conquest cycles. Later on this week, we should know the feats and all that jazz, how this is going to work out. And this is going to be the first conquest I'm actually going to try to push on my free-to-play account. Whew, let's get into it, guys. I don't want to keep you in any more suspense. This looks great. Leader, attacker, Sith. Let's just read the key attributes before we get into it for you guys. A little overview here. Utilizing the rule of 2. Oh my gosh. Has strong synergy with Sith Eternal Emperor with mechanics that encourage just using 2 characters. I don't see Bane being, he could maybe work on defense, but you're going to miss a ton of viability if he's put on defense. It's unfortunate you can't just put 2 characters down on defense. That would be different. So I think the reason why this looks so good, because it seems like it's going to be an exclusive powerhouse offensive tool for Sith Eternal. Can take high relic wayward Sith to make competitive squad leadership. Looks very interesting. If you don't have Sith Eternal, I think you can still utilize this. Can siphon max health from enemies to gain it himself, fueling both his synergy offensively and defensively. So let's just go straight into the abilities right here. This might be one of the most powerful basic abilities that exist out there. Soul Sever Zeta. Okay, let's show you what we got here. Buckle in, ladies and gentlemen, because this roller coaster is about to get wild. So first off, deal physical damage to target enemy. Reduce their offense by 20% stacking on a basic ability. And Bane gains 20% offense stacking, which can't be resisted for 2 turns. Wow, that is a ton of offense deramping that we have just on the basic level, but we're not done yet. On a critical hit, he's going to gain 2 siphon until the end of the encounter. If this attack defeats an enemy, he gains an additional 2 siphons. And if the target is above 50% health, this attack will critically hit if able to, so as long as there's not critical damage immunity. If they are below 50% health, this attack deals 200% more damage. Can you imagine? He's wrapping up his offense by 20% each time, and then he deals 200% more damage. It makes sense why he might be an attacker in this situation. And the coolest thing is enemies defeated by this attack can't be revived. Going to be helpful to dealing with those pesky, for example, pesky Ben Solos. Maybe, I don't know if you're going to use this up against Night Sisters, but hey, stopping Night Sisters could be nice if you're using maybe like his lead with a bunch of random Sith Lords with him. But we're not done yet. We're just giving a little appetizer before we keep moving on here. Special 1. Now, interesting enough, the Omicrons are going to all be on his other abilities except his leadership ability. So I'm not expecting the leadership to be nutty, which is kind of a first. Most of the Conquest characters that we've gotten that have leaders, they all have leadership Omicrons, Gideon, what else? Boba Fett sign of Django, those type of things. This is going to be a first where we have a lead. It's just not going to have an Omicron, okay, excluding Maul and Commander Tano. You know what I'm talking about, the recent Conquest. Anyways, Malevolent Whirlwind. It's going to have an Omicron cooldown of 3. Now, this is pretty wild. This spell all buffs on enemies twice. I have a couple of thoughts what that might be in reference to. Then deal physical damage to all enemies twice. Jeez. Dealing 10% more damage for each buff dispelled. And inflict healing immunity for 2 turns. Now, note, I am not seeing anything that says this can't be, resisted, evaded, all that stuff. So it looks like it still could be evaded, but I have an idea what this might be referring to up here. If the ally in the leader slot is Sith Eternal Emperor, that's where we start seeing the good stuff with the Gucci Man. He gains 1% alter charge for each enemy that was dealt damage with deceived or linked So that means it could be deceived, you know, and Link, I'm assuming, kind of like you double dip, like Vader's unique ability double dips if you're a Sith or Empire, and Palpatine kind of double dip, so it might be double dipping. And then Bane gains 5 Siphon until the end of the encounter, and it has a whopping 200% health steal. Assuming he's going to do a lot of damage, that sounds like a nice chunk of health steal right there. But while in Grand Arenas, remember, this is going to be an Omicron designed character around Grand Arena, which I think most of us kind of enjoyed those more than the Territory War Conquest characters. While in Grand Arenas, additional 3% alter charge gained against deceived or linked enemies, then Bane gains an additional 5 stacks of Siphon. So, all right, couple things I want to digest with you guys here. Number 1. What I think this might be in reference to, the spell buffs on all enemies twice. So what I'm guessing is maybe the first round gets rid of the foresight, you know, it misses. And then he does a second round, hitting the buffs that were hiding behind the foresight. I think that might be primarily what we're looking at, especially like, for example, Master Kenobi might have a lot of foresight on his team potential. So yank that off and then do it one more time to get the buffs off that are there. Other instances might be teams that, you know, after the first hit, they might gain some sort of buff. Well, he could just, you know, knock those buffs off the second time around. So this is, I think this might be a first, like a 2-layered buff this spell. Usually everything's just, you know, 1 level above the spell. So this is going to be quite interesting. I think, again, I really think it's the former that I said. Get rid of the foresight, so that way you can make sure you inflict the healing immunity, get rid of all the tenacity up. So even though this doesn't say, you know, it can't be evaded or resisted, I think that's why it basically does 2 rounds, because you can clear off evasion, clear off tenacity, or foresight, I should say, and tenacity, and get that healing immunity on. So again, pretty wild tools we have here. And one of the problems with Sith Eternal that we're obviously addressing here, it takes them a bit of time to get to that ultimate. I think you guys would agree. And this is gonna be one of the ways we can try to get Sith Eternal to ultimate a little bit faster. All right, now guys, I just want to let you know, we aren't done yet. We got a special number 2, Essence of Dominance. Oh my gosh. Okay, cooldown of 4, Omicron yet again on this ability here, because again, I think he's primarily designed to be a Sith Eternal, so they don't want to maybe incentivize you too much with his leadership ability, but they want to give you something to go with it. So here we go. Deal physical damage to all enemies based on Bane's max health. We gotta wait and see what the health is gonna look like, but obviously there's ways for him to increase his health, so this could be pretty significant. Increase their cooldowns by 1, so kind of like a Darth Nihilus-like ability. You know, I can kind of see a little inspiration with, you know, kind of looks like a Darth Nihilus AoE cooldown increase already from the animation, which can't be resisted. That's kind of a big deal. Can't be resisted because cooldown increase that can be resisted aren't as helpful. Bane siphons max health from the target enemy, which can't be resisted. So over time, the enemies that Sith Eternal and Bane are gonna be facing, they're gonna just, you know, shrivel up like, you know, crumpled paper is what it feels like here. But we're not done yet. Sith allies gain defense up, health steal up, offense up, and speed up for 2 turns. So big boost of buffs. Again, you know, this could be useful with his other Sith that he might be with, but most of my mind is gravitating towards the Sith Eternal synergies we got cooking here. And Siphon max health. We were pretty familiar with Siphon, Supreme Kyle Ren, Afra. Gain a percentage of max health equal to the unit siphon until the end of the encounter. The target loses that much max health. Stacking excludes raid bosses and galactic legends. So unfortunately, you're not able to, you know, use this on like Lord Vader and, you know, make him have no health. But other non-galactic legend characters, it should work up against. And then, but in Grand Arena, we ain't done just yet, let me tell you. Well, in Grand Arenas, you're going to increase enemy cooldowns by 2. And you're going to move 50% terminator from all enemies, and Sith allies instead will get 50% terminator. Then you're going to reduce all enemies' defense and tenacity by 20%, which is going to be constantly stacking until the end of the battle, which can't be resisted, which can't be resisted until the end of the battle. That. Again, I want to imagine this is going to help, you know, Sith Eternal work through, you know, the Master Kenobi teams. Again, right now, the problem with Sith Eternal is, 1, he's got a slow ultimate charge. Number 2, I think the biggest problem, I don't know, maybe it's a problem, maybe it's theory crafting genius. You guys, you know, you guys tell me. Sith Eternal's go-to team is just a mishmash of random stuff. And also, I think Bane's coming into the picture kind of indirectly to the Bo-Katan team, because I think they want to try to free up things like the armor to go over to Bo-Katan's team. So again, we're trying to, it looks great because it's going to be mostly on offense. And we also got to maybe free up some of those weird things that are being attached to Eternal. Give Wat Tambor back to the Separatists. Give the armor back to the Mandalorians, potentially. So, but guys, we aren't done yet. The third Omicron is going to be on Rule of 2. And this is why I don't know if we're going to really see Bane on defense. A lot of the stuff here is only with one Sith, and you only can have 2 characters on an offensive type thing. When you're underdogging, you can't do it on defense. Maybe I'm missing something where it could still maybe be helpful Sith Eternal on defense, and it maybe could still be helpful Sith Eternal on defense, but it's not going to be as bonkers. So again, an offensive heavy tool, unlike Leia, who is sold us as an offense galactic legend. This seems to be truly an offensive design thing. So Bane has 20% critical chance, critical damage, and health steal straight out the bat. That's very nice. We already have a ton of health steal, some of the other abilities we looked at. Whenever he is dazed, so one of what I'm wondering here is, when I read dazed, maybe they're going to try to make Sith Eternal competitive against Lord Vader. My hope is Sith Eternal can go toe-to-toe with all these galactic legends if this truly is only going to be an offense reliant type of thing here. So anyways, let's keep moving. Whenever he is dazed, he gains 10% max health stacking until the end of the battle. As we know, his max health comes into big plays with the other abilities here. Then whenever an enemy starts their turn, Bane's gonna be ramping up his speed. 5 speed, 5 speed, 5 speed, 5 speed, all the way up to 100 until the end of the battle. So he is, maybe he has a base speed of 1. We got, gotta wait and see when he gets added later on this week what the stats look like. But maybe he's gonna be quite a fast guy. Fast plays, keep using all those great specials to buff the spells, the max health, damage, and the cooldown increases. Oh! I don't know. I hope you guys are smiling along with me, man. I just nothing but grins reading this. But here's the thing right here. Right here. That might not be making Bane a defensive type of thing. At the start of the battle, if there's only one other non-summon ally present and they are Sith. I guess, I know we're talking about Sith Eternal. Technically, if I'm missing something, you could use him with Lord Vader, Lord Vader Bane. I don't know. Maybe some other stuff with their Darth Vader Bane. So I'm just saying it doesn't explicitly say it has to be Sith Eternal, but it's mostly gonna be Sith Eternal, of course. But who knows? I'm just putting it out there. There might be some other opportunities. If you don't have Sith Eternal, maybe you can do something else. Anyways, I digress. Bane takes reduced damage from percent health damage effects. This is gonna be kind of big right here. You don't want stupid things like courage and all that other stuff working through you. And it gains a 350% defense. 350, y'all. Whenever his other ally gains altered charge, so Sith Eternal, I don't know, maybe Sith Eternal or Lord Vader, they gain an additional 2% altered charge, and the following effects occur for Bane and the other Sith ally. Okay. Whew. Let's get into this. All right. Immune to ability block, cooldown increase, healing immunity, stun, turn meter reduction. Oh my. Do you need me to go through the list on what this is helpful against? Jedi training Rey against Rey, or all the healing immunity on Rey team, super annoying. Master Kenobi's healing immunity is the biggest problem for Sith Eternal. Right there. Cooldown increases, no problem. Ability block, when Mace Windu gets an ability block in a Kenobi team, for example. Well, that sucks. This is great. It's literally all the biggest problems that Sith Eternal have. We're good here. And we get 75% max health. I don't think you need me to repeat all the stuff we talked about, but there's gonna be a lot of health reliant things throughout this kit. 75 max protection until the first time he is defeated. Whew. For an attacker, he sounds like he's gonna be a beefy guy. Again, we gotta wait for the stats. 75% of a penny's nothing. 75% of $1 million is quite a lot. Ignore taunt effect. There you go. We can get Lord Vader to finally ignore taunt. But again, I really think this is mostly for Sith Eternal, because pre-taunts are often a nuisance for Sith Eternals. Like, you kind of got to waste the link on L3. Would it be nice if we could just ignore them and just go somewhere else? That's another issue with Sith Eternal that we have. You can use your links effectively here. At the start of their turn, recover 35% protection to dispel all debuffs on himself. Wow, it's almost like they're trying to make us stop using Wat Tambor and the armor. Literally, they're like, we gotta stop this Wat Tambor thing. We want people using their trench. We want people to maybe use armor with Bo-Katan, but they keep using it on Sith Eternal. This is literally supposed to rectify, I think, this is the Wat Tambor thing. That's literally Wat Tambor's tank tech right there. When Bane or other allies defeated, the remaining ally gets 5% critical damage, offense, and potency, plus an additional 15% of these stats per the defeated character's relic amplifier until the end of the battle. So I want to first say we didn't even get to the Omicron yet, so just hold on for a second. So generally in a Sith Eternal lineup, Sith Eternal, especially with Sith Eternal is the last one to go, because if enemies have deceived, they can't target Sith Eternal if there's another Sith present, right? Well, so Bane's gonna likely go first, and then so he'll feed all of these stats over to Sith Eternal, and I think Sith Eternal's just gonna go absolutely, Super Saiyan mode on us here. But I just want to remind you, that wasn't even Omicron. I mean, I got a little tingle how excited I am after saying that. At the start of the battle, there's only one other non-summon ally present, and they are Sith. So again, not going to be something useful on defense, I reckon. Bane gains 75% mastery, max health, max protection. And I just want to remind you, we already got some of that up here. So Bane's going to get even more right here. Jeez. And remember, he's gonna feed those stats, kind of like a 5 sacrifice thing. He's just gonna feed those stats over to Sith Eternal. My gosh. Whenever an enemy is defeated, Bane gains 10% max health, max protection, offense stacking until the end of the battle. Now, if I'm reading this right, it doesn't have to be Bane that gets killed. Could be Sith Eternal. Like, pops the insta kill, boom. All this happens for Bane. At the start of battle, Bane gains 100% turn meter. So let me just say, I need to see how this works. I mean, again, this could be mostly on offense. But if I'm understanding this correctly, Bane could potentially just turn 1, boom, increase enemy cooldowns by 2. Turn 1. Dang. Then these effects persist even if Bane is defeated. Yeah. I mean, is there more to say about that? It's a lot there, but I think it's abundantly clear. This is a lot of great firepower. To start off, it's almost like kind of like a Dr. Aphra in a way. Start the battle 100% Terminator. Of course, you can't get Terminator against Kenobi. So, but against other things, Lord Vader or, whatever the case might be. It's basically a Sith Eternal, Aphra. It's so many things. It's a Wat Tambor. It's an Aphra. It's all these other things. Kind of like a mini Supreme Kyle baked into this Conquest character. Oh, by the way, we have a leader ability. So, as you can see, no Omicron unless there's a typo, but we saw 3 Omicrons on the other character. That's pretty typical of Conquest units. Now, I could be wrong. I'd be surprised. I'm never wrong. Let's just remember that, okay? It seems abundantly clear this could be great with Sith Eternal. Like, I'm really enthusiastic to see what this guy's gonna do. But if you don't have Sith Eternal, maybe you don't have Lord Vader. If this works with Lord Vader potentially, this is a nice leadership ability. Sith allies, they're only the strong survive. Sith allies get 30% offense, 30 speed. So that's nice. Nice typical stuff right there. Sith allies can't be revived, so kind of like a little bit of a Sith Eternal thing where you can't revive them. Light side enemies have minus 10 speed, double for Jedi. So slowing down enemies a little bit, double. So minus 20 speed reduction. Could help out a little bit. At the start of battle, allies gain defense up, evasion up, health up for 2 turns, health up again. It's gonna be nice. Whenever a Sith ally is defeated, Bane's cooldowns are reset. He recovers 50% health and gains 50% turn meter. And this might there's a missing part. Let me read into, but we can see the whole picture. At the end of each of his turns, the weakest other Sith ally is gonna take damage equal to 15% of Bane's max health. And Bane gains 5% max health for each other Sith ally for the rest of the battle. This kind of sounds a little reminiscent. We have that Galactic Challenge modifier where you can make your allies lose health to make your leader more stronger. More stronger. Sometimes my grammar police kicks in. Stronger. I think that's kind of a little bit of an inspiration here. But keep reading here. The first of each other non-galactic legend Sith allies above 30% health would be reduced to 30% or less health. They are granted a bonus turn and killed right off. Defeated at the start of the bonus turn. It doesn't even sound like you even get a chance to do an ability. They take a bonus turn, boom. They get killed off. Then Bane gains 5% of the max health, max protection, offense, and 5 speed. And an additional 5% max health, max protection, offense, and 5 speed for each relic amplifier level that the defeated Sith ally had. And this is why when CG kind of teased us that Bane was coming, and they said the higher the relics your Sith are, the better he can make leftover Sith useful. That's what it seems like here. It's basically what's going on there. Bane's all about that rule of 2, right? So he's just slowly killing off his Sith minions that are with him, making himself stronger throughout the course of the battle, turning him into this god, where at the very end, if you don't take care of him, he's gonna have all these crazy stats. He's gonna have all this crazy speed associated with him. And the more relics you have on your Sith, well, let's say at Relic 9 and all the Sith Lords, every time a Sith ally gets defeated, 45 extra speed. If you had 9 Relic, Relic 9 on each of the Sith characters, so 45 times 4, you can do the math. Guys, I don't know what else to say. I know it's Caravel, there's always a few things. How does it read? I could say it's very exciting. I think we can agree. How does it perform? It's going to be something we're going to find out in 3 more conquest cycles. And what were the developers' intentions? That's going to be kind of the third branch of it all. Sometimes something doesn't work as intended. Sometimes, they got to fix it, add some stuff to it. It's just, this is one of those characters where I'm just extremely excited about. I'm gonna try to push as hard as I can on the free-to-play conquest, so stay tuned. We're gonna take a look at the feats when they get data mined later on this week to get you ready. The conquest will be starting on next Monday? This upcoming Monday. Whoa, jeez. No, Gary, no, okay. All right, that's gonna wrap it up, I guess, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you're excited for Bane. Stay tuned for Bo-Katan's kit reveal later on. But until we meet again, always remember that it's great to be in the Empire today.